Hey everybody, it's that time again. We are here for another mental health check-in. If you haven't already, ask yourself, how have you been doing today? How have you been doing this week? How have you been doing in the past month? That's what this is about. This is about not just me talking about my own mental health, although that's part of it. It's about you getting something out of this and just kind of reflecting and taking notice of how you're feeling. Because we don't all always do that. I know I don't. Okay, so I try to do these around mid-month, and I'm actually recording this a few days, like 4 or 5 days before you'll actually probably even see it. So who knows how I'm going to feel in a couple of days, but it feels right now like I just did this. Like it feels like I recorded the last one last week, and it's a little frustrating that time is passing so quickly. That's kind of what I want to talk about today, is this idea that I have these goals that I'm working towards, and it feels like time is passing very quickly. It feels like mental health issues get in the way, among other issues. So let's talk about that. It makes me uncomfortable to talk about it, but that's what this is for. So since I'm going to be talking about goals, what are some goals that you've been working towards? And, think about what kind of obstacles have you been facing? Have you given up on your goals? That happens. I have made a lot of promises to myself and to other people recently throughout the years that either I can't fulfill or I change plans. Like I'm just an imperfect person like anybody else is. So that's something that sucks, and that's something that we have to deal with. But let's talk about where I am right now. And while I talk about where I am, reflect on where you are when it comes to goals, because goals are a major part of our mental health. One of the main concepts of having good mental health out there is that you're able to set and achieve goals and kind of adapt to your environment. So I have goals. I have this YouTube channel, and I want to be successful with this YouTube channel. And for me, successful means a lot of things. I'm not even going to lie. One of those things means making some kind of money off of it. But also reaching as many people as I can with the positive messages that I feel I have to share. Obviously, getting rid of as much stigma as I can around mental health and mental illness. Just helping people, clarifying things. I've gotten a lot of comments from a lot of you that I've helped in some way, and that's pretty much why I do it. So the last time I did a mental health check-in last month, I had talked about how I found an answer to the depression that I was going through. And I would say, I'm not a licensed professional or anything, but I would say you could probably say that I was going through an adjustment disorder. There was a period that I was adjusting to a major change in my life. And I mentioned that another major change was just happening at the time of filming that video. And so I went through this period of depression. I figured out that one of the main problems was that I had a mattress that was so old, I wasn't getting good quality sleep, and I wasn't basically recovering from the ongoing problems that I was dealing with. So to jump off from that point, I had created some Excel sheets, and those were very helpful for me to monitor my mood and everything. And I noticed after getting the mattress and after being able to sleep a little bit better that my mood did improve. My physical pain decreased, which is why my mood improved. So I would say that was a good solution, and it was successful. And it helped me to move towards my goals, getting more videos up on YouTube. So for those that don't know me, who might have jumped on recently, I have not been uploading a lot of videos at all, but last year and for the past couple of years, I've been basically uploading 4 to 5 videos a week. So this new switch for me to do 2 videos a month is kind of agonizing for me. It's really upsetting. I feel like I'm failing. I feel like I'm not accomplishing. I feel like my life is kind of being thrown away in a way, because that has been my life. And now I'm not even accomplishing that. So it feels like, so what am I doing with my life? Maybe you've had a goal that was your singular focus goal. I need to get this one thing done. Maybe it's a long-term goal like mine, and you just couldn't do it. What has that felt like for you? Well, I can tell you for me, it sucks. I hate it. I hate this feeling. It really wears me down. It encourages me to go back into a depression because I don't feel like I'm getting somewhere. So let's talk about what I've been trying to do about it. So that sheet that I had created, the spreadsheet, basically a bunch of spreadsheets that I was using to track things, I was using that as a tool to see like what's going on here. And once I figured out that the mattress was going to help, I went through a period where I just fell off the wagon. I'm not using the sheets anymore, basically. I'm not somebody who likes to track my life, so it felt like work. And once I realized that I got the information that I needed out of it, I stopped doing it. So if you're one of those people who's out there who has things that you need to do routinely to cope, but then you kind of like don't do them, I get it. And hey, not every coping style and strategy and method and whatever is for everybody. So for now, I'm just going to let that one slide, even though I know it does help me. But I'm struggling. I'm still struggling. The reason why I'm having such trouble getting videos done is because of the way that my week is structured. As you may know, especially if you've been a longtime viewer of mine, videos take a long time. I complain about this all the time. And I've tried to do as much as I can over the years to learn to be faster about it and to work more productively. And I've upgraded software and I've upgraded equipment and all of this. And it still takes a long time. Like, it's just the nature of doing video. It takes a long time. So there's other factors that get in the way, like noise. I complain about noise all the time. Like, I'm very limited in my time and my resources. So depending on the week, I could have 5 days out of the week. 5 days out of the week. I had to think about that for a second there. Yeah, it's 5 days that are gone that I can't be productive in, which I guess is kind of typical of a lot of people. You know, if you have a full-time job, it's just your thing. Maybe you raise children, you got school and stuff to deal with. Like, you just have a lot of days where you can't really get that much done. So I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. And then I also have this other day where I schedule in like chores and things that I need to do. And I kind of don't expect to get a lot done on that day either. And that kind of leaves me with the day, which is today, to do videos. So now that these changes have happened, I get to a day like today and I wind up incredibly stressed out because I try to plan, then it falls apart. And then I wind up here where I am right now. And right now, I have maybe 1.5, 2 hours to be able to do the videos. And what I'm aiming for is to shoot about 6 videos. And that's just the filming. That's not all the editing and all the other stuff that needs to get done, which is like the longer part of everything. It's like I go through the week and there's other things that I do besides just the filming. I do research to know that I'm doing the right thing with YouTube and to, I don't know, like I need to enhance my skills and I need to read and I need to learn. Like, I can't just make everything up out of my head. So that all goes into it. And there's other projects that I would like to work on. There's a project that I promised myself and other people that I would be doing that I'm not really working on, which is frustrating. So I don't know. It's a lot of pressure on myself. Now, hold on a second, because I realize for some of you who pay attention to my channel, I know most of you probably really don't, but some of you who might may be like, okay, you're filming all these videos. Where are these videos? Because I have not seen videos. Well, I'm building up a little bit of a body of videos. What I would like to do is have at least a few videos ready for the things that I'm going to be planning, so that it's just there and it's done and I know it's done and it's ready and I don't have to stress out over trying to accomplish it. So I already talked about how I got rid of some of those obstacles. I made the sheets, the Google Sheets, so that I could plan things out and figure out what the problems were. I identified one of the problems and I eliminated that problem. But as I mentioned, I have this time issue. So one of the things that I needed to do was to notice the time issue. And something that I'm doing now, I'm recording all the different steps that it takes for me to do a video and how long it takes. Now, I only did this for one video so far, but adding up all the different steps for that one video, minus the extra stuff I have to do because I've had some problems, it comes out to about 2.5 hours, which honestly isn't that bad given my track record of doing videos. Although this wasn't like a complicated video, there wasn't a lot of stuff involved. This web series thing that I'm doing, those videos take longer to do. But okay, 2.5, let's just say 2 hours and a half per video. That's not too bad. If I wanted to accomplish, say, 6 in a week, although I would really love to accomplish more, but if I wanted to do 6, then that would be, I'm not going to do the math, over 12 hours a week. That's not terrible, but when you consider how little free time that I have, or how hard it is for me to make use of my free time, it's kind of all my free time. Now I'm okay with that because this is something that I want to do. This is something that I've been doing for years. I'm like used to giving up my free time to that. So let me just get real with myself here in front of you. Like, what are my options here? My options are either find a way to make it work, which I'm doing my best to, give up on it altogether, make less videos or something. Like, there's only so much that I can do. I'm one person and I'm limited to the confines of my situation. So what I'm trying to do is find the limits of my situation, push up against them, and do the best that I possibly can. And I would ask you to think about your goals again. And think about, what are the limits? What are the obstacles? What obstacles do you think you can get rid of? Maybe even you don't know the answer right now, but maybe you could think of how to find the answer to get rid of those things. Think about that. And then think about, how do you find the limits of what you're able to do? How do you know, like, how much your body can take? How do you know how much your mentality and your thinking and like, how much sleep do you need? Think about these things, because this is what I'm going through right now. I had a routine and I had a life that was working for a little while there, and then it all got totally interrupted. So now I'm kind of like having to pick up the pieces and figure it all out again. And it's really frustrating to me. And I'm going to go into a little rant in a second because it's reminding me that I want to rant. There's no way I'm going to get to those goals unless I figure it all out. It would be really easy for me to just throw up my hands and say, whatever, forget it. You know what? I'm done with the YouTube. I've got other things in my life I can do. I can find other goals to pursue. And for some people, maybe that's an option. Maybe that's right for you. It's not right for me. I like doing this. I want to continue doing this. I've always been committed to doing this. And so the only real option for me to do is to figure out what is the limits of what I can do. And that's what I'm in the process of doing. And maybe by the time we get to the next mental health check-in next month, I'll have it figured out and I'll have some good news. Maybe not. And now, if you'll indulge me, I just want to rant for a little second here, because this is all stemming since the beginning of this year, really. So I had a number of problems, and I've mentioned this in the first mental health check-in that I did. I had a number of problems. Like, I got sick a bunch of times, and I just had an issue with my laptop again. This seems to happen every year with me. Like, a whole bunch of things piled on all at the same time in the beginning of this year. And this project that I've been working on, I was conceptualizing it and I had the idea ready, and I was excited to work on it I wanted to basically launch it for the new year and have like a January thing. And that never happened. And then like the problems just kept snowballing, and it got into February. I'm like, I just can't. And then I had to make adjustments. And here we are again at the beginning of March. I had to make adjustments, and I can't get on my feet. It's really frustrating because this was all supposed to be done like 3 months ago. And I always like to bring it back to you. Maybe you can relate to this, where you're just like, I want to tear my hair out. Like, why is this so difficult? It doesn't feel like it should be so difficult. I was doing 5 videos before, fine, on my old routine. Why can't I figure out this new routine? But it's because things changed, and this is part of adapting to life, and this is part of what good mental health is about, is finding ways to adapt. So I am in that mental health struggle right now, doing my best to adapt, and it's really frustrating. And maybe this is one of those things that people don't really understand about mental health and having a mental illness and mental health problems and whatever, is it takes time and it takes a lot of work and effort. And for anybody to think that somebody with a mental health issue is like lazy, it's always bothered me when I've heard that word lazy thrown around. Like, do you have any idea how hard it can be to adapt to these things when you've had... I just did that because I can hear all the people being like, yeah, yes, I do. I can hear all the people in the background. It's like saying, do you have any idea of the stuff that I've had to go through? And it's like, okay, great. So you're going to compare your problems to mine and make it like yours are more important. I get it. Fine. I don't know. I just want to highlight... I'm going off the rails here, but I just want to highlight that, you know, it's hard enough to set a goal and work towards it and change your habits and change around things in your life when you don't have a mental health issue or you don't have anything like really stressful and different going on in your life. Like, it's hard enough to just do that when things are going well and when you have a good support system and everything's on track. But when everything gets shaken up and you're in situations like myself where you don't have access to the resources that you need, maybe you don't even know where to find those resources. Raising my hand here because this is me a lot of the time. It's not easy. And for something like what I'm doing anyway, there's not a lot of people who can relate to what I'm going through. And I know there are, obviously, out on YouTube, but I don't talk to them. Like, I don't have regular conversations with YouTubers. I don't know anybody in real life who does YouTube. It's not that common of a thing. And usually when you try to bring up YouTube to people, like, they don't care. It's not interesting to them. YouTube is not something that they really understand. And that's fine. And I can try to explain it to people, but they're never really going to fully understand it until they sit down in front of a camera 5 days a week, film something, edit it, put it up, make a thumbnail, try to reach an audience, try to figure out the best way to get their message across, try to figure out how to speak well and act well. And like, I can't even get into how much work this is. And again, I'm not really complaining here. This is something that I enjoy to do, but I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated on the way of trying to reach my goals, and I'm frustrated that I'm not reaching them, and that's just me expressing how I feel. I don't know how long I've been recording for, but it feels like it's been forever, so I think we're going to leave it off there. I want to know, can you relate to this? Have you ever set a goal and you felt like nobody really understood it? You felt like you didn't have, like, that's kind of where I feel right now. I feel like I'm really alone in this. I know I'm not totally alone, but I feel very alone because I'm really the only person that I know who's set a goal like this, who's trying to go towards this kind of a thing. So I'm wondering if you have a goal that you've been working towards that nobody else really in your life understands, and you don't really have any resources that you can go to. I mean, like, I know for myself, I can go to groups and I go on groups and I read things and I try to, like, there's places I can go and I do all of that, but it's not enough, I guess is what I'm saying. And I guess for all of us, it's never really enough. We never really have everything that we need to do the things that we need to do. And that's okay. But I'm just wondering, is there maybe something you're going through right now where you're trying to reach this goal and it feels like nobody else gets it? If that's true for you, even if you don't feel like sharing like what it is, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below about that. Okay. Now that I got that out of my system, maybe I can go on and do the other videos that I wanted to shoot right now. Thank you for listening. Even though you're not here in the room with me, it helps me to just get this out. So thank you for that. If you want to subscribe and be a part of these monthly mental health check-ins or just see the many other mental health videos that I have on this channel, I am over 500. I will continue and continue and continue because this is my goal. Go ahead and subscribe. In the meantime, thank you, and I'll see you for the next one.